Everybody says that 90% of day traders fail. You've heard it, you've seen it, you've read it, it's all over the internet. YouTube videos will try to convince you that it's because of some indicator you're not using or because you're not using their strategy. And to be honest, y'all, that's a lie. Like, that's just not the whole truth. And I'm tired. My name is Sierra, and I have lost over 6 figures day trading, but I'm proud to say that I've made over $1 million day trading. One thing I would always do is I would take every single loss again if it could still get me back to where I am now. And the reason why I didn't fail is not because I was not using this strategy. It wasn't because I wasn't using this indicator. The real 90% has nothing to do with that. So let me put you guys on to why most traders fail and how you guys can actually persevere. To be honest, when I think about my trading journey, I really shouldn't be here. Like, I really shouldn't. I'm gonna make a separate video about my trading journey and how I got here, but like the mistakes I want to tell you guys about, I made so many mistakes, but I think I was just delusional. Off the record, y'all, I do feel like you got to be a little bit delusional to be a full-time day trader. The reason why I say that is just because every day is not guaranteed. Like, you could be up one day, you could have the best setup, the best strategy, the best everything, and then all of a sudden something happens with news, takes the stock, and now you lost your trade. Nothing to do with you or your credibility or your setup or your understanding. That's just a part of trading. And that's why I say it's not about the strategy. I've been a part of the 90% and I've also been the 10%. So I feel like I know a little thing or two to be able to tell you guys how it actually is. I appreciate the whole bunch of videos on how to trade, how to do this, how to take an entry, how, but we need to talk about the why, because as somebody who has a Discord, right? I've had a Discord now for 2 years. I've been trading for 5 years. And so I have seen in the last 2 years, a lot of people come and go in trading. I've mentored a lot of people, and I can say a lot of people that I've mentored might not be trading today. Not because I suck. I don't think I'm a bad teacher or anything, but trading is just, it takes a lot of people out. I can admit that. One thing I'm never going to get on this channel and do is lie to y'all. Most videos on here are going to get here and tell you guys that it's because you're not using EMAs, you're not using this indicator, you're not using this strategy, you're not waiting for this. And honestly, I think that's very important. Like, having a strategy is very important. I have a strategy to be able to trade. However, the problem isn't the strategy. It's you. It's you. Like, it's actually you. And the hard part is you can't outwork you. You can't outwork your mind. It is trading psychology. Psychology is something that I'm so heavy on as a trader, because you can have the best strategy and mess up here and lose everything. It has nothing to do with the charts, nothing to do with your setup, but everything to do with your mind. In my Discord, we literally host psychology Zooms every single Monday because they're that important. I'm going to give you guys some personal examples and let me know if you guys have ever been in the trade like this. There will be times, right, where let's say I'm in a trade and I'm up 30%. And for me, I'm like, you know what, green is green, right? But because it's moving so fast, I'm thinking to myself, okay, 30 could be 40. So maybe it becomes 40%, right? And then next thing you know, the stock drops. So now I'm only up 20%. And I'm like, dang, it used to be 30%. So now I'm sitting here and I'm holding the trade because I'm sitting there and holding on to profits that I used to have. So then it goes down to 10%. And I'm like, dang, I still gotta hold it because I used to be up 20%, so at least let me take something. Instead of closing the trade and taking the little bit that I'm getting, I'm holding the trade. Now I'm negative on my trade. Now I'm down 10%. Keep in mind, my stop loss is always 20%. I'm down 10%. Instead of just cutting it and taking the little bit of green that I should have gotten, I'm keeping the trade because I'm like, man, like, I don't want to be red today. So if it just goes back green, then I'll close it all together. So then it goes back green, right? So I'm like, okay, cool. I'm green. I'm fine. But I don't close the trade because now I'm getting greedy again. And I'm like, you know what? I actually was up 10%. I was up 20%. I was up 30%. So let's get back to there. So now I'm still keeping the trade, and then it goes down to 20%. Oh no! It got me. So now it's at my stop loss, but I'm in disbelief. I can't believe that I lost the trade because I was just up. So instead of following my stop loss, I hold the trade. Now I'm down 30%. Now I'm down 40%. And it's a cycle. Mind you, this could have all been prevented if I would have said, you know what? I'm happy for the little bit that I'm getting. One thing I tell my students is if a stock chart comes from market open, it's down here, right? By the end of the day, maybe not the end of the day, midday, the high of day is created and it's up here, right? There is no way, unless you're doing insider trading and you're going to prison, that you would know to enter right at the low point of the day, it closed at the high of the day. So as traders, our goal is really to get a piece of the daily pie. Do you know what I'm trying to say? If you were to think of the market as one big pie, right? I can't eat the whole pie in one day. I just can't do that. That's not realistic for me. But if I could just get the stock from here to here, if I could just get cues from, you know, here to here, or here to here, something like that, that's fine. The problem is people would be like, man, I got a problem with exiting too early. But here's the reality of exiting too early, right? If you were looking at a chart and let's say you get nervous to the point where you're like, you know what, I don't want to be in this trade anymore. Like, I don't see anything on the chart. I don't know what I'm doing. And you exit, then you didn't exit too early. You followed your plan for that time. You get what I'm saying? Like if your plan was, I'm scared, I can't be in this trade any longer, until you're able to overcome that, that's the best you've got. Give yourself some grace. I promise you, if you every single day are taking trades from the lowest low point to the highest high point, you're going to jail. They're investigating you. So you might as well just take the little bit that you're getting. And that sounds like a really crazy thing to say, like, oh, be grateful. But like, seriously, like you cannot push the charts beyond what they're willing to give you. Let me give you guys another story, right? I had a student, and I tell this story all the time. I asked her for permission, but I had a student who had started with like $1,200. And over the course of like a couple months, she was able to take her $1,200 up to $18,000. The reason why $18,000 I remember and why it's so significant is because she told me, she was like, you know what? I'm going to withdraw money at $20,000. And I always tell my students, I'm like, trading is super fun. I love trading, but I have bills to pay. Okay. Like I'm not out here trading for sport, for fun and games, for hoopla. Like I'm going to make sure I'm paying myself as I'm scaling and growing my account, So I kept telling her like, hey, withdraw some money, withdraw some money. She was like, no, like it's fine. I'll withdraw when I hit 20. Okay, whatever, cool. So then she gets to 18K, and for some reason she's just overly feeling herself, disregards her strategy, right? Because when you have strategy, when you have risk management, you understand I only put this much of my account into each trade, or I don't take trade after this time, or I don't take this many contracts. You have a system so that way you can keep your account. Risk management is about living to trade another day. So when she hit 18K, she thought, oh, if I just, put 17K into a trade, then if I could just make 50% of that, then I'm going to make so much more money and da-da-da. In the span of 2 trades, she lost her account all the way back down to like $2,000 because not only did she full port her trades, which is poor psychology, but in addition to that, she did not honor her stop loss because she was too busy thinking about how much money she could make from a trade instead of thinking about how much money she could lose. Yeah, you're willing to make 20% of 17K, but are you willing to lose 20% of 17K? That's the problem that I see a lot of traders do, and why they fail is because they scale up way too fast. So they'll take trades, right? And they get caught up in, if I could just trade with this much money, if I could just trade with $1,000, if I just make 20%, I made $200. $200 is great. If I can make $200 a day, I'm happy. I can get food. I can go to TJ Maxx. I can do what I want to do with $200 a day, right? But are you okay with, on the downside, losing $200 a day? It's very easy to sit and plan and think about the upside and how much money I can make and what I could do, but instead, people don't think about the downside to sizing with that much money. Another psychological trading issue we see is people don't trust themselves. I see a lot of my students, they'll find amazing setups, and because they've maybe taken a loss before, or because maybe something hasn't played out, they'll be like, I'm not really sure. They don't take the trade and they miss out on an amazing setup that they were able to spot. Have you guys done that? Drop a comment down below at some trading mistakes that you guys have made, because I feel like the day trading community tries to make it seem like it's all fun and games and glitz and glam, and every day the stock's just going up and we're just doing so great, and that's fine and all, but we make mistakes too. I make mistakes. I'm 5 years in. I make mistakes. Sometimes I over leverage if I'm having a bad day. Sometimes I may hold a trade a little bit too long. Sometimes I may make mistakes. I'm human. I am not a robot. If I was a robot, if I was some AI trading bot, that would be an entirely different situation. But because I'm human, I make mistakes too. So if you guys made any mistakes, leave a comment down below so we can all sit and then hug about it. Here are 3 key things that I feel like actually kill the 90% of traders. Number 1 is you're trading your emotions and not your setup. Being able to be a successful trader is being able to see the same thing, trade it, rinse, and repeat. It's not about finding a new strategy every single day. It's not about finding something different to trade. It's not about changing up anything about your system. It's about having a repeatable system. That's why I personally consider myself a simple trader. Like, my strategy is not the craziest thing in the world, because I need something that I can repeat every single day if the trade permits. For example, I see this pattern. You have a lot of overconfidence. You have a green day, right, which produces that overconfidence. So the next day you size up some more. Then you have a red day. Then you're like, man, let me just size down. Let me do this. this. Next thing you know, you have another green day. She's like, man, so now I'm going to put more into the trade. Now you're risking more. It's like you're fluctuating. You're not seeing the same thing. You are changing how you trade based off of your emotions. Now the setup. Losses are a part of trading. That's just it. I don't get mad about losses anymore because why? I trade the same setup every single day, the same strategy every single day. Okay. If I lose a trade, it's going to be because a stock reversed on me, which I can't control. I can't move the markets. It may be because I may have missed something sometimes. I may have not seen a zone, but I try to do my due diligence on that. If I lose a trade, I'm going to assume that, you know what? I'm not going to sit here and say, oh, I got to go find a new strategy. Now I got to start sizing up. Now I got to change this. If my strategy is tried and true and tested and proven, if I lose a trade, then oh well. I can't control if a stock just decides, you know what? Volume just dropped. Now we're consolidating. Oh, well, okay, cool. I can't control that. So I'm not going to let that dictate the next trade that I take. The problem that I see with a lot of people is that they let their past trades dictate their future trades. Because you lost in the past, now you're going to operate this way tomorrow. Because you won today, now you're going to operate this way tomorrow. It has to be uniform. It has to be a system. The 10% of traders who do make it, it's not that they don't feel emotions, it's not that they don't feel anything. They just don't act on them and let them, make decisions for their trading. Like I was saying earlier, point number 2 is you're risking too much because you want it too bad. Again, it's easy to think of if I put this much money in, then I'll be able to make this much, but you're not considering how much money you would be losing. People oversize because they're chasing a number. Oh, I need to make 5K this week to pay my rent and pay my bills. They take a setup that they would normally pass on because they don't want to feel like, oh my gosh, I just missed out on this, or I should have put more money in here. But hey, if that's not your setup right here, don't trade it. The size of your position should be determined by what you're able to lose without flinching, not what you need to make. Number 3, I really feel like has to do with timing, but it's just not having the patience to wait for your setup. Most losses don't come from bad setups. They come from forced setups. Like, let's say you open the chart, you don't see your setup, but you're just itching to take a trade anyways. So then you end up hallucinating something that's not even there. I tell my students all the time in my Discord, I'm like, look, y'all, like, be mindful that as each minute goes on, as you're looking at a chart, I feel like you start to get a little delusional. You know what I'm saying? You start to hallucinate a bit. Like you'll see a chart consolidating and you'll be like, man, is that a double top right there? No, it is not a double top. Don't trade things that look like your setup. Make sure it's your actual setup. The truth is, the market gives you the setup when it wants to, not when you want it to. That 10% of traders, they can sit on their hands for 3 days and not touch a button. How long could you go without trading? Because I believe that as a trader, it's as important to know when not to trade as it is to know when to trade. Keep it above with y'all. A lot of the trading gurus, a lot of the discords, and again, I know I have a Discord, so this may come off as super tone deaf, but I feel like a lot of people will sit here and try to sell you a strategy. They will sell you an indicator. They will sell you an ebook, and they'll be like, this is why you're losing your trades because you're not trading like me, because you're not doing this. But I think it's psychology. I really truly believe that it's because of your trading psychology why people fail. You can have the best strategy, the best setup. The market could be dropping for hours. But if you're hesitant, if you're over leveraging, if you're greedy, things like that, I can't fix that for you. As a trading guru, I couldn't fix that for you. Some dude who you just paid $5,000 for a mentorship program, he can't fix that for you. You can't sell that so nobody talks about it. If you're watching this and you're like, okay, well, you're saying all this, but what's your strategy though? That's the whole point. I don't have magic. I'm not a magic person. I don't have a magic strategy. I know how to keep myself discipline. Your strategy, this is going to sound super crazy. Please don't clip me and cancel me for this. But hear me out when I say this. I have heard some of the most insane strategies. At the end of the day, I feel like if you're green and you're making money, then oh well, like that's your system. If your strategy is take calls every time your dog sniffles, okay, cool, fine. But even within your little sniffle strategy, if you don't know how to get this together, please don't have that as a strategy though, like for real. Like, I'm not going to say I hate some of y'all strategies. With some, like, there is no magic to trading. The only way that I believe that someone could confidently sell you a strategy and be like, yeah, this works 100% of the time, is if that strategy alone moved the market. It does not matter what I put on these charts right here. I could put 15 lines and 30 indicators and circle things and all these everything. And that is not going to move the market. Our job is not to predict the market. It's to react to what the market gives us. Do you hear what I'm saying? It's not because, oh, I paid $10K for somebody's mentorship, $6,000, $8,000. Now I'm guaranteed. The market owes you nothing. The market does not care about you. It's not about that. I'm telling y'all this because I care. As somebody who does, again, like I say, I have a Discord. I deal with people all day. I see people, I see traders, I talk to people who are getting frustrated. When I ask people, hey, why do you feel like you've been on this losing streak? Are you journaling? Do you even know what's the consistency then you're losing? Are you hesitating? Are you over leveraging? Are you being too greedy? Like, what's going on? I taught myself how to trade, and that was really hard because I feel like a lot of these lessons I learned through losing money, unfortunately, but you know, it is what it is. If you guys choose to find a mentor or a teacher, whether that's me, I'd love to have y'all. We talk about psychology every Monday, every day in Zoom calls. But even if it's not me, like, find somebody who really emphasizes what's going on with you as a trader. Because again, a strategy is never going to be 100% guaranteed. But your psychology can be something that can tell you, hey, don't take this trade and that'll save you some money. Trading is not just signals. It's not just, oh, calls above here or puts below here. That's predatory. That's not creating any type of independent trader. If I had a Discord and all I sold you was signals, calls here, puts here, how would you know when the setup wasn't good? All you knew was calls above. You didn't know to check volume. You didn't know to check for levels. You didn't know to check how you were feeling that day. You didn't know that. All you knew was calls, enter here. Now your house is gone. Car is gone. Dog is gone. Kids are gone. Everyone gone. Repoed. You get what I'm saying? Anyways, like I was saying, y'all, strategy is not the problem. You are. Once you fix you, once you get together up here, then you can start to see the work. If you're 90% right now, that's okay. I was too. The good news is you can move from 90 to 10. You just need to work on yourself and how you see the charts, how you see your mind, how you operate in taking trades. If this hit you, if this resonated with you, if this was something that you were like, you know what? Yeah, like I definitely feel this way. Please drop a like, subscribe to the channel. If you guys have any questions about trading at all, like I said, please leave them down in the comments below. I love interacting with you guys. If you guys want to join the Discord, we do live trading every day. We do pre-market analysis. We do post-market recaps because it's important to know what happened. We do psychology Zooms every Monday. We have study groups every single day. We have community. We're even having an in-person conference in July. You guys are seeing this before July. Super excited. We're going to have a crystal ball because it's called Crystal Academy. Black ties, suit and gown. It'll be super nice. We're going to have a conference on Saturday, have some mixers, have a cookout. It'll be a good time. My biggest thing is I love community because trading at the end of the day is an individual sport. So it's only you entering and exiting. So why not make it fun? If you guys have anything you want to know, trading related, life related, please leave it down below and I will take it in consideration for my next video. Thank you guys for watching. I will see you guys in the next video. Have an amazing rest of your day and happy learning.